Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. James, very first person to log on in, and we do appreciate that. Eric, Tim, Daryl, and John followed you up, and then a whole bunch of other people out there. Linda, welcome to you just coming on board. We got Brad and CJ, Kelly, Karen, I see you out there. Thank you all for taking time to join us for this presentation. Powerful technologies to get your business ready for success in 2017. James Hilliard here. We've got Gene Marks on board. A little bit about Gene in a moment, but Gene, we're going to be looking kind of forward here about what we can have in terms of tech that's going to help us succeed in 2017. For you, what was the most powerful technology that helped you succeed this year, 2016?
That's a really good question. Geez, you know what? You would warn me, James, that you could tell me the question in advance, and I'm like, nah, I'll be fine, I'll be all good, whatever. Actually, I do. There's a couple technologies that really helped me succeed, but I'll name one. We are going to talk about CRM applications, and we actually migrated our customer relationship management application over to a new one this year, a cloud-based application, and it had an enormous impact on my business. So I'll save the reasons why and the specifics until we sort of get into customer relationship management applications, but it is changing over to a new CRM was a huge thing for us this year.
All right, cool. Well, we will dive into that. That's actually going to be one of the first topic areas we get into. Let me all share with everyone kind of who you are, Gene, what you do, and a little background so people have an idea, and then we'll dive into several of these areas. One, writing daily for the Washington Post. You've also maybe read him weekly in Forbes magazine. You may have seen Gene on television, being interviewed on various cable news networks, all about kind of, again, helping and watching the trends out there in terms of what's going on to help businesses, small, medium, and I think even in large here, right? So it really doesn't matter, folks, what size organization you're with. I think you're going to be able to get value out of everything we talk about here. The Marks Group is his main vehicle for paying the bills and moving life along. So glad to have Gene on board. We are going to really invite all of you to be part of the conversation by asking questions, sharing your experiences. Very conversational is our plan and approach for today's event. And as we get into it, and we are going to start off talking a little bit about CRM here, Gene, to start, but let me ask you, as we go through this, we've got a bit of a list here, I think 5 main areas we're going to talk about. Is this ranked at all in your mind, or are these just all equal?
Yeah, they're all equal, and it's going to depend. And just a few words, I mean, just as we sort of get into this. So for starters, James, so the Marks Group, that is my main bread and butter. That is my company that I use to pay my kids' college tuition, and all 3 of them are seniors in college this year. That's a whole other story, James, but we're almost done, so that's good news. The Marks Group is a technology consulting firm. We have about 10 people in the company and 600 active clients, and you've got the CRM slide up here. Is exactly what you should have up, because just full disclosure, I mean, we sell CRM applications. We sell 5 of them, and then I make my money from implementing, training, customizing, all that kind of stuff. But because we're so deep, up to our elbows in our clients' technology needs, we get to know a lot of other really great technologies that small and medium-sized companies are using. And I'm watching and learning from a lot of clients what they're investing in this year, and what they plan on investing in 2017 to grow. So it is a, we're kind of right there as a technology consulting firm. I do a lot of writing, and I like to write about my experience as a business owner and identifying trends that are going on in the world. So I have a little bit of that, but I stop writing at 7. I don't know what time, like 7 in the morning, and then I get up at 5. And then I, put on my Marks Group hat and go out to work and, and talk about CRM and sales and marketing software. Just want to be clear on that. And CRM, first slide that's there is not, it's not ranked, but it's a biggie this year. It really is, and next year.
Yeah, well, and as we maybe go through the conversation as well, let's see if we can make any distinctions. If more important maybe for a smaller, medium-sized business, maybe more important for a larger, if there are those distinctions, to be made through the conversation.
Let me ask you, so are you, like your business itself, James, right, are you an independent person? Like, do you have your own company?
Yeah, so I'm an S Corp, Hilly Productions, and then I have a handful of companies, right? I work with some video editors and camera guys and stuff. So depending on project, then we'll go out and team up with some of the partners I have.
Which is great. So you've got partners that you work with, and then you also, so you have no employees, it's just yourself, I'm assuming, right?
Correct.
Good, because that's important, because whoever is watching this right now, I just want to be clear that we will designate, and I'll make sure I be clear, this is for something you might want to be a little bit larger size or not, but CRM is one topic. People always ask me, like, when should I get a CRM system? You know what I mean? Am I too small for a CRM system? I mean, like, James, you should have a CRM system, but and when I give some examples, I'll make some, I don't know if you're using anything right now. You're not. So I got some examples. I got some recommendations for you as an individual person that partners and works with a lot of people that you might want to check out. And then just as well, we can talk about ones for people that are watching that might have 5, 10, 50 employees or more, that some CRM systems would be good too. But every size company, so I always tell this, I forget if I told you the story last time we talked. I have, like, my wife and I get sushi from this Japanese restaurant near us. We get, like, every Friday. We've been married like 25 years. And I don't know what you guys do, like, on a Friday night. You have little kids, so you're running around, right?
We do Friday date morning. We date morning because they're off at school, so that's our Fridays, is coffee and working out.
That's an interesting, I've never heard anybody do that. That's actually a really good idea. So we're on the sofa Friday night, binge watching something, and we always get sushi. We've done this for years, and there's, like, a local Japanese restaurant that we've always been going to. And they've got, like, a CRM system. These guys, they use ACT software, which has been around for 1,000 years. It's a little, for very, very small little businesses. They've had it for a while. I'm in their database, and I call these guys usually sometime late Friday afternoon to make the usual order. And as soon as I call, they have their ACT system, their CRM system connected into their phone system, which they all do very easily nowadays. And my name pops up with previous orders and notes about me, and when it's always like, hello, Mr. Marks, same order as last time, and I'm always like, yes, same order, they're very nice people. I can't, it's hard to understand everything that they're saying. Yes, same order, and they always get the order right. And then once a month, I get an email from this little Japanese restaurant with some, hey, come in, get a free glass of wine if you buy a dragon roll, and every year I get a birthday card from this Japanese restaurant. I have not gotten a birthday card from my kids in going on 5 years now. The Japanese restaurant sends me a birthday card every year. And here's the thing. Just 2 days ago, I should pick, I'm talking to you from my home office. I should take you out there and show you. We got a gift basket. James, this Japanese restaurant sent us a gift basket for Christmas. Like, I don't know if you're getting gift baskets right from your local.
No.
Anyway. Yeah, it's all CRM. They all use the CRM. They've got a database of all their customers. They join the VIP club. They're in there. They match them with the stuff that they like, and they're communicating. They're keeping it, because there's like 6 different Japanese restaurants near me. The whole point of a CRM system is to stay in touch with your community, and these guys they're rocking it with their CRM system.
So let me ask you a question, because CRM, customer relationship management, my take on, especially smaller organizations, oftentimes when they use a CRM system, they focus on the M, that they're going to manage now data, but they don't focus on the R, the relationships. So the story you've just told me is very much on the relationship. So for a smaller group that is looking to use CRM in 2017 to succeed, should the focus be on that relationship as opposed to all the nuts and bolts management?
We talk about the second bullet here, and we can jump around the slide, but the second bullet is on increasing your business value, and it's 100% what you just said, James. It's your relationships. And talking about you selfishly, you've got your partners you're working with, you've got your clients. Citrix is a client of yours, like others that you work with. You've got other prospective clients. You've got, you got your community of people that you're dealing with, whether you're a single person or you're a 150-person company. And the question you have to ask yourself is, how am I touching the people in my community? How often am I touching them? Does everybody have a follow-up? You know, like you and I, you know, if we have a lot of overlapping contacts in our communities, like I would like to stay in touch with you. We should stay. So what is your follow-up with me, for example? Maybe just you have a record from me in your CRM systems, James, and 3 months from now you've got a scheduled follow-up to like, hey, just to send Gene an email asking how things are going or, you know, whatever. And I would do the same. And that's how you keep in touch with people, customers, clients, vendors, partners, prospects. A CRM system makes sure nothing falls through the cracks with your entire community. Your relationships are solid.
Let me ask the audience and folks on our control panel for GoToWebinar, there is a hand raise function. It's a little orange raise hand. How many of you out there are like me? I still use Excel. And so I do my own thing, but I say, hey, I'm working with Gene here. I'm going to follow up email here. I'm going to send something here. Raise your hand, folks out there. John, first one with his hand up. How many of you are still using Excel in that manner as a way to communicate? And again, I'm going to sort this out. So Devin out there is doing that, Gene. Christine is. Stephanie is. Bernard is. Let me look at a percentage-wise.
Devin, Christine, Bernard.
30% or so?
Wow, a third of people. Isn't that something? I mean, talk about that as sort of an unscientific poll, but that tells you a lot. So Devin, Christine, Bernard, all you guys there might be using Excel. Let me give you some advice. Whether, again, I don't know you guys. I don't know if you're just a very just yourself as a freelancer or if you might be working at a larger size company. Here's some things you want to think about, okay? First of all, Microsoft Outlook is a very, very good contact manager for tracking all of your contacts, activities, follow-ups, and all of that. Microsoft just 2 weeks ago just released something called their Outlook Customer Manager. It is part of Microsoft Office Business Edition. It integrates right with Outlook. So if you've got Office 365, it integrates in, and it's a mini CRM system for you if you're a Microsoft Outlook user. Look into that, because it will help you track opportunities, follow-ups, relationships, notes, all like Outlook on steroids, basically, is what it is if you're a Microsoft Outlook user. If you're not an Outlook user, Google Apps and Gmail, there are some great add-ons for it, and there are some great applications that integrate with it. For example, there is a great CRM system called Insightly. It's I-N-S-I-G-H-T-L-Y. And Insightly, it's cheap, James. It's like $10 a month. There's even like a free version. It integrates really well with Google Apps and Gmail so that you can have like your own CRM system, whether you're one person or you're a bunch of people. I've got here listed under key players Zoho. That's what we migrated. You had asked me earlier, like, what was the technology, that right? We used to use an old school product called Goldmine software, which is excellent, but it's like a on-premise application. You know, you stick it on your server. And, well, my company is virtual. People are working from their homes and their clients, so we migrated up to Zoho. Zoho, the most expensive version of Zoho is $35 a month a user. There's a free version for up to 5 users, and there's a very inexpensive version as well. It goes down to like $20 a month a user. And Zoho, cloud-based, just like Insightly. It is a great mobile app. Great data, very customizable, very expandable, very, if you want to do, integrate it with other systems like email and other marketing systems, it's fantastic. I have mentioned here Salesforce. I don't know how many people on this call or watching this video are part of a company that has 25 or 50 or 100 or 150 potential users. If you do, then Salesforce is a good application for you. We sell it. But generally the larger corporations. But it's the granddaddy of CRM applications. It's, it's the most well-known one. And that's also another really good thing. So for you, James, by the way, that's a good idea. If you hold up your pencil, I know you want to make a point. Right. You should, if you're an Outlook guy, you should look into the Outlook Customer Manager.
We're going to look at Office collaboration next, but the last idea I want to do here, we might do this for each and every one, is what are the top 2 or 3 things that everyone, smallest to largest, should look for as they're evaluating a CRM system?
Great. That is really a great question. First of all, it should integrate with your email system. So if you're an Outlook user, get something that works well with Outlook. If you're a Gmail user, get something that works well with Gmail. It's very, very important to do. Okay. Number 2, it should be flexible. So that means that you can customize certain parts of it add fields if you want to, feel free customizing it and all, those types of things. But here's the number 3, and this is the most important thing when you're looking for a CRM system. You're not buying an application, you're buying the company. Do you like the company that makes your CRM system? Have they been around for a while? Do they have a big community of users? Do they have a good brand name? I mean, are they sort of like well-known in the field? If you like Insightly as a company and what they're doing with CRM, trust me, they're all going to have the same features and functionalities. You want to like go with, if you like the direction that Microsoft is taking because you're a Microsoft user. If you're using a Sage product, like a Sage 1 accounting product, very popular, you might want to look very strongly into Sage's CRM application. The company, in my opinion, is the most important thing.
Yeah, and I like that advice. I think that can go for almost anything out there. I was looking at some collaboration tools, which a nice kind of move and segue over to collaboration here for the office. But just how they use, I went to their website and one of their links was messed up. But instead of that 404 or whatever, it said, oops, you broke the internet. And I stopped for a second, like, I broke the internet? I said, oh, just kidding, but this page isn't working right now. I liked the humor in it. I liked that company. I said, you know what, that's one I'm going to look at a little deeper just because I appreciate how they were approaching me as a customer. So.
Sure. You didn't actually believe that you broke the internet, did you? I mean, for a
quick
second.
I'm like, what? It caught me off guard, right? It was
my wife. Al Gore?
My wife's computer just died the other day, so now any message I get, it freaks me out because I'm going through that whole,
You're not breaking the internet anytime soon, but I get it. No. You have to like the culture. You have to like the look and feel of the company, the community of the company. It's very, very important, which does bring us to the next one. We talk about office collaboration applications. I mean, we're talking about really investing in a platform that you're going to use to bring together all of your people or your customers or your community, and you have to like what the company is offering as far as a platform, and that there are tools that they provide and applications that integrate into it, and they have a good community and been around, which is, right now the big platforms that are out there are Microsoft Office and Google. I include Citrix here, and Citrix obviously is sponsoring this, but Citrix is they're a huge player in the small and the medium space, mainly because Citrix brings together Office, Google applications, and also on-premise applications into one collaborative platform as well. And it's sort of like I come across a lot of clients that are saying, we have a mishmash. We have some things in-house. We have some things cloud. We like this Microsoft product. We like this Google product. We like this other product, whatever. And I always think, well, if you want to bring them all together on one collaborative platform, you probably want to standardize using Citrix because that's sort of like the place that you go for that, for all of them to work well together. So, but you got to choose what platform you want to go on. And stop me if I yak too much here, but we just had our office holiday lunch last week, and I do not provide any alcohol because God forbid somebody leaves and runs over a puppy. You know what I mean? It'll be a bad thing. So, but okay, so we had a nice holiday lunch, and we were talking about our plans for 2017. You tell me if this makes sense to you, James. We're a Microsoft partner. Okay, full disclosure. My plan, but we have about 600 clients, like I said earlier. 2 of my people from my office I'm going to send out and get certified in Microsoft Office 365. I want those 2 to be expert in all things Office. And the reason why is because probably 90% of our clients use Microsoft Office, right, or some version of it, and 100% of them are only using 15% of what it does. They own this whole suite, this whole thing, and they're basically using it as a word processor, at best. And I strongly feel now more than ever, particularly with all of the things that Microsoft are doing to Office, that there is a huge opportunity for small businesses, if they were to invest in a little bit of training and knowledge, that they could be making much more use of what Office does. Now, if you're a Google person, same thing. Because people that are using the Google suite of apps are only using a small percentage of all that functionality too. And I bet you're guilty of it, just like I'm guilty of it. But you're, I don't know what this application even is, or I hardly even use this, and no one's telling you or teaching you, and therefore you're not seeing the benefit of using it. And I think that's a big opportunity next year.
And that's where I think a lot of small businesses kind of shudder at an investment, because there's a recognition that, man, all these bells and whistles, but I only use it for PowerPoint, so I'm not going to use Publisher. I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to use these CRM add-ins, this and that. And
Sure.
so that seems to hold a lot of teams back. And then they do cobble together a bunch of these little free things, and it doesn't seem to be the most efficient way.
It really does, and you know, when you look at any of these, particularly even if you bring it together with a Citrix platform, you know, you could be sharing content through, you know, whatever documents that you're working on, quotes and proposals and such. You know, the calling the Google Voice or Skype, Google Hangouts or Skype. You know, Google has, you know, the capability of not only collaborating through video, through Office Video. Microsoft Skype does the same thing. In fact, they're actually changing Skype to ultimately evolve into something called Microsoft Teams, which is going to compete against a very popular product called Slack, which is like a work group communication product. You know, and when I talk about this to my clients, like, I have no idea what you're talking. Do I have this? I can use this, you know. And yeah, they have things like Microsoft Delve, which is like an internal artificial intelligence thing that if you've got 5 or 10 or 15 people in your company, it's watching how they work and learning, so that when you come into work and turn on Office, it starts delivering to you stories, letting you know what other people in the company are working on, giving you certain content, highlighting, you know, based on the activities that you've had in the past, you should be aware of this that's going on. You know, that's what Delve is. Really fantastic stuff, and a lot of my clients own this stuff. And I mentioned earlier about the Outlook Contact Customer Manager. I can guarantee you a lot of my clients, they'll own the business, they don't even know they have it. And it's like, dude, you've got this. You guys could be doing so much more with it.
You're investing in training for 2 of your employees so you can service your customers. Teams that go out there, do you feel training is necessary for everybody on the team, or do you get 1 or 2 of those experts? I know with Google, when they do a big rollout, I worked with a couple of groups that were rolling out to government agencies, right? They had a big push a couple of years ago, and they would have their little team leaders, so they would train 1 person to be a champion. It gave that employee some empowerment. They felt that, hey, I really know this stuff. They could go around and help others. Is that something that you think is a good model, that route?
It's required. It's required. It's interesting that you say that, too. When we implement CRMs, remember, we're like a CRM shop, so and we implement other sales and marketing technologies. So this office collaboration thing is going to be a new road that we're going to go to, because I think it will be a big opportunity. When we implement CRM systems, James, we insist that there is like an administrator in-house, like a go-to power user, main person. That's the person we train to be an expert at the CRM system. And then that person can sort of spread the gospel internally, and we can support them as they train everybody else. But particularly, if you've got a work group of more than 3 people, you need to have at least 1 person who just owns the system. So we're going to take that same lessons that we've learned, and we're going to bring it to the office work that we're going to do. So if you are part of a company that's got 100 people, 50 people, 20 people, and you're like, you know what, yeah, you know, this guy's right. We really should be learning a lot more about, you know, the office system that we have. We should be able, whatever. To really succeed, you need to designate 1 person who's going to own that, who's going to know it, who's going to coordinate the training, who's going to be the go-to person in your office for questions and support and, you know, whatever, so that you, and you have to think, and this is what we're going to tell our clients, you're going to pay us to come on out and train your people and train that person. That's good. You got to invest some resources in this person. Like, get this person certified in Office, or have them go to a class as well. The more that person knows and can bring that knowledge back, the more that you are better using the applications that you have. But right now, it's like, man, it's like people are like driving around in a car and they don't even know how to turn on the air conditioning. You know what I mean? It's crazy. They already own the air conditioning. It's just crazy.
No, it is true, and those are some of the experiences I have with people where even if I know a little something, I share with them, even things like in PowerPoint, right? I deal with presentations all day long.
Yeah.
I simply just showing people, and these are marketers, they're always creating these events in presentations, and I show them how to import slides and keep the formatting. They're like, oh, I didn't know about that thing. And I'm like, wow, that's your job, and you should. And so I can see where there is a lack of knowledge there. I will tell you, in looking through this deck when I first got it from you, this is one area, this is the idea of promoting oneself, especially for a smaller business.
Yeah.
This is an area I struggle with. I can only assume because, look, I'm trying to do my daily job, service it. Oh, yeah, I need to promote what I do, too, so I can have more people to support everything. So let's talk about this for a couple minutes, because I'm assuming this is also an issue you run into a lot.
Yeah, this is not only an issue, but it's funny when I was putting together the slide deck for this conversation. This is stuff that my clients are dealing with, but this is stuff that's me personally in my business. This is what I'm focusing on as well for 2017. 2017 for me is going to be a big Facebook year. Okay, I mean it's come to my realization that if you look at the numbers, Facebook, James, has got 50 million small business pages and over 2 billion active users every month on Facebook and growing. I mean, it's an enormous platform, as we know. And if you're running a small or a medium-sized business, the other thing that I've learned is that sometimes people will say, geez, if I'm on Facebook, like my company can't be on Facebook because, we sell piping. You know what I mean? Or it's not like we're doing a landscaping business or a flower shop or something that's like, that's more Facebook oriented, like consumer oriented. And I've learned that's actually not true. I mean, if you've got good content and advice to share, your company page can easily be liked and followed by others just personally. I mean, I've learned that while a lot of people might not have their own company pages out there, a lot of people that might be your potential customers are probably doing something on Facebook, even if it's just talking with their high school friends or whatever. They still would like your page because if you're providing good content and education, they're going to want to see that. So in 2017, I'm going to be focusing more on Facebook and getting more likes on Facebook, and also growing my Twitter community and my LinkedIn community. I'm not going to be messing around as much with AdWords, and the only reason why is because, James, I don't have enough money and time, and I'm learning, excuse me, as a small business, I've created a social media budget for 2017, because that's the other thing that I've learned, by the way, is that social media is not free, and people do not get organic growth on social media anymore. If you want to get noticed on Facebook and Twitter, you got to pay. That's maybe 5 years ago. It was all, hey, it's organic or whatever. These guys have turned into multi-billion-dollar advertising platforms, and they are going to be giving priority over people that are paying to get noticed over people that are just hoping that they're going to. It doesn't mean that somebody's not going to jump out of the woodwork on some viral something on Facebook, but it ain't a plan. And when you look at like Coca-Cola has like 50 million Facebook likes, why would anybody like Coca-Cola on Facebook? I mean, because they're paying, they're promoting themselves through promoted ads, through promoted messages all throughout Facebook, and they're giving stuff away. You like Coca-Cola because they give away coupons for free Cokes, and they run contests, and they have content. So I'm like, I guess I'll like their page because maybe I'll get some, something free out of the company, or I'll learn something out of the company. That's got to be the mindset that if any business owner wants to succeed on Facebook or Twitter, that's what they have to have.
You said budget. Is it a twofold budget, money and time? Because I know the time scares a lot of people, and they're like, I don't have time to tweet and do the Facebook updates and this and that. So what about the time budget?
I can easily. My budget for next year is going to be somewhere around $75,000 to $100,000 for social media, and it's divided into two things. Okay, just so we know, it is going to be advertising and promoting my content on my Facebook. I've got about 10,300 likes on my Facebook page. I have goals to grow that. Okay, because it's because it's about leads, and I'm going to get to leads in a minute, but it's about leads. So I want to grow that. So to grow it, I got to pay. So I'm going to be playing around with promoted ads, contests. We've just signed up with a service called Woobox, which is W-O-O-B-O-X, which runs contests. So I'm going to be giving away $50 gift cards, or certain prizes for people that sweepstakes, or that can answer certain questions, and then but they got to like my page and submit some information to do that, because it's about leads. We're going to get to that in a minute. So I've got all that, but then here's the other big chunk. I have a woman who is spending sorry, about 20 to 25 hours a week doing my social media marketing. So you just asked about the time, okay? Mm-hmm. No offense, but you're not a social media marketing expert, right? I mean, you're a little league expert, right? I mean, you know, right? It's all about getting to that next base and having a good catch. That's what you're expert in, right? And a little bit on the production side and running these webinars. Fair enough. So, you know, I'm not a social media expert. I mean, that's like a, you know, that's just an entire other area. Yeah, it is. It's its own professionalism, and we all, as business owners, have to realize we don't have the time to do this if we're going to be just messing around and dabbling at best. That what I've learned from marketers at larger companies, because I've interviewed many of them for the stuff that I write, is it's all about data. It's all about testing, failing, adjusting, testing, failing, adjusting, until you figure out what works online, and then you plow resources into what works. Do you know what I mean? That's what marketing is.
Yeah, and that's understanding your audience, right? It's not just going out there saying, hey, here's a new platform to just advertise, look at us, but especially within socials, creating, as you said, Coke, right? They'll create something that's really just cool that you want to share. And it might not even be related as much to, you know, the drink, but it's again creating a relationship, but creating that content. Yeah, and as so many of us as business owners, that's not where our strength is. So we have to invest in that as well, in terms of people, freelancers.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm doing. By the way, on the topic of Coke, I mean, you know, Coke has an advertising and publicity budget. It's like $1 billion budget. I mean, it's like you can't even. Coke, like, you know, I'm gonna spend $75,000 next year. I think Coke misplaced $75,000 since you and I began this conversation. They have that much money, you know, right? So for them to like test stuff out or whatever, that's, you know, that's what they do. So the answer to your question about getting up is, yeah, you need help to do it. You got to find somebody. So great places to look. Upwork is a great place to find a good independent person that can help you with social media. Guru is another great site to look for somebody that can help you, you know, as an independent contractor. Craigslist is a great place to find an independent contractor who's also a homicidal maniac. It depends on the skill set that you're looking for. But these are places that you can go to find people. And I tell you, you're looking for, I don't want to sound old, you're looking for like younger people that, I mean, is this discriminatory? I know people that are in their 20s that, you know, probably have this knowledge that you can pay. I pay my person $25 an hour, something like that. That's what you pay. I mean, it's, you know, what it is. It could be a contractor, it could be a part-time person, but it should be somebody that is going to be devoting some time to you every week, 5, 10, 20 hours a week, and they're going to be running these campaigns for you. Now, that kind of gets me to my next. I want to make sure I get this point across. The whole social media, James, is such baloney. It's such BS. When I talk to so many people, they talk about the metrics, the likes and follows and click-throughs and page views, and, you know, you're going to get these social media people. It's almost like you hire a tax guy or a lawyer, and they come to you with all these terms and terminology that's only special for their profession because it makes them look so smart, and we don't know, because what do we know? So we seem dumb. Well, these guys seem like they're really super smart at what they do because they use terms we don't know. You don't want to get fooled by all of that. In the end, it's leads is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people to buy my CRM systems. I want to build up my Facebook audience of small business and medium-sized business owners so that I can deliver them content, get their information, keep them as part of my community, so that when they're like, hey, you know what, I could use some help with my CRM system, or I'm looking for a new one. Yeah, you know what, this guy on Facebook's been great, whatever, let me reach out to him. That's my goal, okay? So,
and that person may not have even ever liked anything that you had, back to the metrics idea. And I've got Jonah online here saying, well, hey, Gene, is the public going to get sick of social media? And
great question.
It is a good question. I was trying to put it into my head of that, because of some of the metrics I think that some people put out there. Oh, well, if you don't get this many likes or this many, well, I know how many times I go through my Facebook feed and I don't like nothing. I go through LinkedIn. Yeah. I don't share it, but I absorb it, and I, in the back of my mind, say, hey, when I need that, that's the person I want, even though I might not have. I come from radio way back in the day. 2% of the listening audience for the major talk show hosts on radio out there, 2% of the audiences call in. Everyone else is just, they just listen. And so the idea of metrics here, and again, I think we could go on a lot longer, maybe take a moment or two here, and maybe back to what Jonah said, and anything else you want to comment on about, you know, are we going to get sick of it in 2017? Is there going to be too much noise out there?
Here's first of all, it's a great question, Jonah, but I'll tell you this much. If you're getting good content that you like, you won't get sick of it. That's all. So, I mean, if you're getting barraged with a bunch of noise and abuse and, a bunch of haters and, all that kind of stuff, then, you're going to get sick of that kind of stuff. But if you're following the right people, if you've got the right friends, if you've got the right, people on Facebook that you're following, if you're on LinkedIn and you're following certain people that are influencers that you like, you're never going to get sick of that because they're always going to be hopefully delivering good commentary and education to help you organize your life and run your company. So that's my response. That's my job is, as with all that with Facebook, I want to be just delivering not too much. I don't want to inundate people, but I want to be delivering, a couple good things a day that will help my community live a better life or run their businesses better so that they can just be like, wow, okay, I enjoy seeing his stuff. It helps me. You know what I mean? I don't get sick of that.
Well, a little comment I'd have to Jonah is just also remember that, yeah, if there's stuff you're sick of, dump it. You don't need it in your feed. You can get rid of it. You can unfollow those things. And so, if you're having that mindset as a consumer, maybe you need to parse through some of your stuff. And then as a producer of some of that content, give it a little more thought too, not just put anything out there just to put it out there. Have thought on one point there, then let's move to video.
No, I think that's fine. The only final point I was just going to make is I was looking at my notes here about sort of promoted posts and tweets and all that. Facebook does have an interesting I know I've been talking a lot about Facebook. It's been on my mind because of what we're going to do ourselves. But they do have a good customer match campaign thing where you can upload an Excel spreadsheet of all the customers that are in your database and their email and any demographic information that you might have about them. They will find people on Facebook that matches that demographic, and then you can pay to send out ads with good information, link back to an article you wrote or content you're writing to people that match that demographic. So there's a lot of things to test and try out that you want to tell your social media person that you're going to hire to try, because that's the most important thing to do.
Video is something, Gene, that I'm working with the teams that I support. That I think is going to be a big, success for them in 2017. One thing I do, and then we'll go on here. Your benefit, right? Meeting the new demand for content. You can take a webinar like this. And we've done this, Citrix, the ShareFile team and I, for a previous event we did with you during the last summer. We took out a little 2.5-minute snippet. Hey, Gene Marks had this great little nugget of information. Watch it for free. Put it on some landing pages. Put it out there on social. If you like Gene, well, hey, then here's some follow-up information. Here's the whole archive, stuff like that. Webinars, I think, are a great wealth to mine for video content. There's a lot of other video content that you can do. We're doing video here because it makes a connection with audiences. I love video. What are your highlights for video moving forward?
It is like 80% of the internet by like 2018 will be video. And that's primarily me and my wife binge watching different shows over the weekend. My wife made me binge watch This Is Us over the weekend. Have you guys seen this? Yeah, it was great, right? Am I right? I'm a guy, and I'm saying this, right? I mean, I'm a Game of Thrones guy, but I thought This Is Us was really good and all that, so we binge watch that. So yeah, the world, the internet is all, it's video. And, we talk about Facebook again. One of the reasons why I wanted to build up my Facebook fans in 2017 is because we're really going to be putting some effort into Facebook Live in 2017. James, I will tell you right now, within the next few years, within 5 years, you're going to be seeing CNN, Fox, MSNBC, NBC. They're going to have multiple Facebook Live channels. You and I will be buying TV sets in the next 5 years, within the next 5 years, where we will be flipping through Facebook Live channels on our TV sets, because it is Facebook Live, Twitter's Periscope, and I apologize for the misspelling, Google Hangouts on air. These are your own personal television stations for your business. So you could have your own Facebook Live show, your own Twitter Periscope show, your own Google Hangouts on air show, and it's broadcasting to the world, right? I mean, it's really an amazing thing. Now, a lot of times people say, like, oh, who's going to watch it? Am I wasting my time? Is it, is it really worthwhile? And what I predict is that if you are, no matter what you do, you've got good knowledge and education to share. So once a month, pick a platform, Twitter, Periscope, Hangouts, Facebook Live, and decide to just do like a 20-minute show, your show. And interview somebody in customer service, demonstrate a new product that you've got. Go and visit some customer and interview them about how much they love your product. Provide some safety training. Provide some training on the products or the services that you sell. Have a thought leadership discussion that we're doing, right now. Just 20 minutes is what we're doing. You can post it, and remember, if you record it in advance, Facebook Live, the secret about Facebook Live is it doesn't have to be live. I know they call it Facebook Live. My bet is that I was just having dinner with Mark Zuckerberg the other night. No, I'm actually kidding. I never met Mark Zuckerberg. But I'm convinced that internally they're going to change the name of Facebook Live because you can record your videos in advance and then stream them as if they're a Facebook Live video. And I think a lot of the big network TV stations, they'll be recording pieces and stuff and using the platform to do just that. So if you record something in advance, a training, whatever, you got the time to edit it and make it look nice, man, you can stream that Facebook Live, Google Hangouts, put it on your YouTube. You can use it in a whole bunch of different places. And people like, generationally, the millennial generation are watching more videos than any other generation, and that is just never going to change. So one thing, a big piece of advice I do have about that, though, because sometimes people think like just holding up a camera is good enough. What we're doing right now is good. Look how good this quality is, right? Look how good this platform is that we're using. It's GoToWebinars, like quality stuff, right? You have to invest in a quality platform to use if you're going to use any video. You know this because you're a video production guy. If you're going to go on site somewhere, say you want to interview a client, or a customer, you want to do whatever. I say, listen, hire a video guy or a video person, right, with a nice camera. Like, spend a little bit of extra money to do it right, have it edited right, so it's fast moving and quick and good and professional. Because you don't want to look like Wayne's World, when you're doing your video. You want it to, because you're going to be up against CNN and Fox and MSNBC, and really people are just going to get used to being that way. So what are you about to show me right now? There it is. Yeah.
So I've got some lighting, right? This is my office area, but to get just a little more of that professional look, and then show you a microphone here. That's what I'm talking into, is a microphone instead of my computer speakers. So let me try and get me readjusted back here.
No, I'm glad you say that because like I don't do this for a living, so I don't have like that's pretty impressive stuff that you've got there. You do this for a living. Do you have a Rode microphone? Is that what you use? Everybody seems to buy the Rode. Oh, right. Okay, it's a professional microphone. Yeah.
Yeah, this is 2020 is what's called Audio Technica. But the point is that, yes, you can hire teams, or I love your investment. And I talk to teams that, hey, if you're going to be doing a lot of things like this, webinars, and you are thinking about webinars or other content that you can farm for these other little nuggets, invest a little time. Microphone, $150. Those lights, like $40. I can take those on the road somewhere, be in a hotel room, and still put on a professional look. And so a little bit of investment does go a long way, I think, in these things. So
funny as well, like some of the videos that we played around with, both on Facebook Live and actually on Google Hangouts on air. We've done a few in my company, myself and my VP of Operations guy named Corey, and we've had conversations about different CRM products. We'll record it, we post it to YouTube. I got to tell you, I've gotten people that have emailed me months later and said, hey, I just watched your video on YouTube. You guys were discussing, Salesforce. I had some questions for you about whatever. Like, people watch it. People, it's out there. It gets build up views. People do watch this stuff. So I think that is an enormous technology that should be considered by and we all have content. You're not Beyonce. You're not going to have 20 million people watching your video. I get that. But even if you're doing something like corrugated containers, there are people in your industry that are interested in that topic. So you might get a few hundred people watching it, of which 20 might turn into be leads and opportunities for you. It's worth it. One final thing before I let you go to the next slide is that we talked earlier about the social media person, okay? So if, don't do this yourself. I always say to my clients, if you want to do video, go to your local college, find some marketing kid, right? I mean, it's a sophomore marketing major or a junior marketing major, and you say, kid, I'm going to make you a star. You're going to be my Facebook Live person or my Twitter Periscopers, whatever it's going to be. I need you once a month. Here's a camera I'm going to buy for you. You're going to do the legwork and the filming and the organization or whatever, and I'll give you some ideas for content. Have a marketing kid run with it for you. You'll get a lot of results out of it.
Yeah, no, I love that idea out there. Last item we want to talk about, and then again, folks, if you have additional questions, we've been throwing in some ideas. I've been looking through the queue the whole time, Gene, so I've been mixing some things as we've gone along here. If you have additional questions, folks, get them in. But email marketing, it's not going away. You still see this as a real powerful technology for success in the coming year.
Yeah, well, it's not just me. I mean, I've been looking at that as well. First, here's what made me look into this and what made me think about it, even as we head into 2017. So I mentioned earlier that my kids are, they're all seniors in college right now, right? So, and it is, it's a lot of college education, James. I'm paying a lot in tuition, okay? It's very expensive. Put money away in 529 plans right now. In fact, I want you, as soon as we're done with this call, I want you to put another $1,000 away in your 529 plans because you're gonna need it. And one other thing, conversation for another day, but the state school system is fantastic in this country. You know, the great resources. You got University of California, USC. I mean, you've got some great schools there. That's okay. So I got off topic. So okay, my kids are all seniors in college. That's what they are. And they are looking for jobs, right? So, they're applying at different companies for jobs, and, that's what they're up to doing. They've always been on Facebook all their lives. They're always like, hey, Dad, you and your email, what do you think? They're applying for jobs. What do you think how do you think they're communicating with their employees? Yeah, you got it.
Email.
They are all emailing their prospective employers, their resumes and their correspondence and all that kind of stuff. Surveys have shown that 87% of companies rely on email as their primary communication and marketing tools still, even in 2016 that we are now, and certainly heading into 2017. So the bottom line is this. Email marketing is not only going away, it's getting stronger and stronger, and I believe that every company should have some type of an email communication plans with their community. Not everybody is on social media, as we have learned, and a lot of people still get their information through email, and you've got to have a plan to do that. I've listed a couple of the players here. I like it's constant contact, not content contact, but okay. A1 are just 3. There are some other really fine ones that are out there. And the story that I like to tell about my email, James, is this. We use Constant Contact. They're as good as a bunch of others that are out there. I forget if I told you this story before, James, but they have shut me down 3 times in the past 3 years. I just wrote about this for Entrepreneur Magazine. They've shut me down 3 times, those jerks at Constant Contact, over the past 3 years. And but they've done it for good reasons. Each time we would be ready to send out an email to our list, and we would get like a message saying, sorry, we're unable to send out this email. Your list has come under review and suspicion. Please contact our audit department, And we would I would call the audit department, and they would look through my list, and they would question me about the list. They'd be like, oh, there's a lot of emails on there with a sales ad or an info ad address, and we don't like that. And anyway, how do you gather the names? How do you opt in? How do you opt out? They would really put me through the ringer. They would try to sell me more services too, but it's America. I guess they're allowed to do that. In the end, they would greenlight me, and then we would move on or whatever. I like that. Constant Contact, MailChimp, anyway, these are really good firms because their job is not to do your email. Their job is to deliver your email. They give you the tools and all to create, great emails and all that, but their job is to deliver it. And because they do that due diligence, the main email service providers, the Gmails, the Yahoos, MSNs, all that, they let the emails from their servers go through. So when you're looking for a good email service, I believe, you really want those guys that beat you up and do due diligence. They're doing that for a reason.
And I love that advice there because there is so much junk that does come through. And so knowing that if you're putting out good quality stuff, it's going to get there to your audience. It has more of a chance of being opened. You have a chance of being heard. One question that always comes up on email marketing is how much? And you
Yeah.
talked a little bit about having to have a plan. Do you are there any how much answers, or does it depend? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually do. You can't answer how much. You have to answer, it depends on who you're emailing to. So if you are saying to yourself, like, hey, I send out an email blast to my database once a month, right? You sound very, very 2004 when you say that, okay? Because in 2016 and certainly in 2017, 2018, it's all about segmenting your data. So if you've got a good CRM database and you've got a good person that is responsible for it, you're segmenting that database. You've got customers, prospects. You might even have customers that are interested in these kinds of products versus customers that are interested in those kinds of products. You've got people that you might just are acquaintances or that you've met once in a while. Each one of those segmented data lists should have their own sort of how much you think you should be communicating to them. If they're customers, then you've got a good, good reason to say, yeah, you know what, we should be communicating to these guys at least once a month. They're our customers. They need to hear from us. If it's a prospect or somebody that's not a customer but they're a potential, maybe you say to yourself, it's every other month, once a quarter, or something, right? If it might be somebody that's just, just in your community that you met at a trade show or whatever, you might decide it's only twice a year. So it depends on your audience. And the more you segment down your database, the easier it is to decide how frequently you should be communicating to that segmented list.
Probably not only helps you decide that, but also what type of
Yeah.
content. Is it video
Yeah.
content that we were just talking about? Is it some other type of offer?
Yeah.
Is it that helps all that?
It does, and it's also, for example, I've always thought that when you segment your database, if you've got only 32 people on this list, because these are 32 people that bought this type of product and they're only in, that's what they're interested in, dude, I'd rather have 32 people that are interested in getting information from me than having a list of 3,000 people where only 32 people are interested in getting information from me. So it doesn't make a difference if it's that small. It's fine. I mean, that's what you do. And what you want to do is, you're right. You got to think about your audience. If your audience demographically are teenagers, then you're right. You probably want to be feeding them more video than not, or if the content is more visual, it's a video kind of thing. Most times, though, it's just 2 or 3 bits of information to educate your community. Not a sales pitch, not a nothing. They know where they're getting it from, but just, these guys bought this product line, so I know they're using, this type of thing. What are 2 things I could tell them this month that would help them use this product better, or that would enrich their lives, personally or professionally? Come on, you know what I mean? You know this. So that's what I would do. And this keeps getting back to the college kid that you're going to hire, the assistant, because the biggest thing that I find with my clients is everybody goes into this with the highest of aspiration. We all know we should be doing it, and then we all wind up blowing it off because we're just too busy doing other stuff. So you hire that college kid and you say, listen, once a month or every other week, you're responsible for these newsletters. Come to me, I'll give you the content, I'll tell you what I'd like you to write about. Hire, again, a marketing kid with an English minor, you know what I mean? Great experience for the kid to do, and you'll then have a routine of getting it out and out and out.
It's funny as I look back at our title here, Powerful Technologies, Get Your Business Ready for Success in 2017. I mean, all of these things that we've talked about, almost every segment we've gone back to about the relationship. It's about 2 people,
Yeah.
right? A business owner or somebody talking to somebody, and we're using technology to facilitate that, but we have to be on our communication game, right? If you don't have that, all the technology in the world isn't going to do crap for you, right?
Agreed. I completely agree. And there are plenty of other good technologies out there we're not touching on for managing, your people, for compensating your people, specific for vertical industries, financial technologies. We don't have the time to talk about them all. So these are 5 that I think across the board, every business in every industry, every size should be considering.
all in, this was a question here, kind of went back to the beginning. I'd asked, you know, do we have is this a segmented list, or like a ranked list? Hey, you got to do CRM first, on this and this, and you said no. These are just areas to go all in on all 5 of these areas. Pick one area to go in first, and then grow.
Pick one area, 1 or 2. These are 5 that I recommend that you should be looking at. I don't recommend that you should be doing them all, unless you've got the resources and the time and the ability to do it. You know, I mean, look, all this blathering that I'm giving to you, we did last year, the CRM thing. You know, we migrated our CRM system. That was, trust me, that was time consuming enough, just migrating the data and getting used to the system and coming up the reports and just getting very excellent at it. You know, now I'm ready to move on to something else, which means this year it'll be more video and Facebook. You know what I mean? So I just, you know, these are all really good things, but, you know, you choose what you think will work best for you, and just get excellent with that, and then you've succeeded.
Yeah, you get that win, you get the confidence that your team can do that, you know, make that adjustment, that transformation, that growth, and then you've got other technologies you can grow with and move.
Correct. That is correct.
Good stuff, folks. Let me put up on the screen as well some contact information, because I've been getting that as well. So on Facebook, facebook.com/Gene, is that a J in there? So Gene J. Marks. Yep. Make sure you get the, who's the regular Gene Marks? Is that a bad site to go to?
Oh, and I got to find that guy.
You got to find him. And, on Twitter, @Gene Marks, you can exclude the J, and then Gene @marksgroup.net if you want to send an email. Stay in touch with Gene. I am going to do so. I've got my kind of little marching orders. I'm going to think about some of these things, Gene, and I've got some changes planned for the coming year. The CRM is probably going to be very important for one of those additional things I'm going to add to my plate. So I'm going to be looking into that. So I appreciate this was a timely chat. Additional ideas coming in here towards the end. I'm going to wrap up a little report. We'll make sure that gets on to Gene and our team behind the scenes over at ShareFile. We appreciate the Citrix ShareFile team for sponsoring this event. We'll get that over to those teams, and we can work on some emails or responses offline there. With that, hey, much success, hopefully for you, Gene, in 2017. I believe we'll have some opportunities to talk as we go through. I'll be definitely in touch, and I hope you will as well, folks. Brad and Hank out there, Sridhar, everyone else that joined the event, really appreciate all of you for taking time for the presentation. If you joined us late, no worries. We did, Scott, record this event, so you and everyone else will get a reminder email bringing you back to the archive, so look for that. And with that, we will wrap things up. Gene, appreciate the time. Again, my thanks to the ShareFile team. My name is James Hilliard, and we do look forward to talking to you all down the road.